Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. As you will see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. You'll be happy to know that I have started actually properly drawing, or sort of properly drawing the next thumbnail art, as in the refined sketch is halfway-ish done. I'm not really sure. It's actually on my other monitor over here, so I can just turn it on. It was currently sitting off because I've not been doing it, but I will resume doing it after dinner. It's not even open. What am I even doing? What am I even here for? Okay, hold on, let's find it, Where is it? Animal Crossing Year 4 thumbnail. There we go, So, it's underway. It is probably simpler than the other one, but it has a nicer sense of community to it, I think, compared to the previous one. So, I'm actually quite liking it. It's a bit of a mess to look at, like, sketch-wise, because there's so many overlapping lines, but whatever. Hello there, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 6:09 PM on Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. So yeah, I will say it's probably tenuous if I'm going to be able to finish my idea for the anniversary video in time. I generally don't think I have enough time maybe to do it unless I really just absolutely knock out the park with thumbnail art, which it might happen. I'm predicting this thumbnail art should take me in total. I'm going to guess about 8 to 10 hours. That sounds about right. And knowing the pace I usually go out for my other, I'm sorry Vivian, my other previous thumbnail arts, which most of the normal ones take about 2 hours, and then the Animal Crossing ones takes like 26 hours or something, but obviously I did not spend as much time on this one, so I don't know. I think it would be a cool idea to be able to go and update it at every few months or so, but we'll have to see if I actually have time for that in the end. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the Year 4 celebrations, because even though we are celebrating the start of Year 4, I suppose, in Animal Crossing, it's now become, by the time we get to Year 4, I don't think it's as big as a thing anymore, is it? It's not like you're like, whoa, I can't believe we made it a year. Whoa, I can't believe we made it 2 years. Now it's sort of just like, there you go, Year 4. We've made it 3 years. It's sort of like, it's old hat at this point. But that's kind of like the way I want it to be. If anything, it is routine in the end. At the end of the day, for me, so I suppose at the end of the day, it is routine celebrations in the same sense. It's not like I'm doing a huge milestone thing, but hopefully there will be things introduced in Year 4 which will be more fun and more interactive, I suppose, for you lot, aka streaming. That's gonna happen. It's gonna happen someday. My friends have been like, "Oh, when you start streaming," and I was like, "Ah, why are you saying that?" But anyway, yeah, we're here to continue talking, I suppose, about my holiday, because they're ripe for conversation. What's that word? It's ripe for conversation topics, hopefully. And I was thinking about what I was talking about, because, I talked about football yesterday. I was like, what's the next, chronological thing that we did? And technically, the next chronological thing we did was walk. And then I was like, you can't really talk about walking. And I was like, yeah, you can kind of talk about walking. Now, I feel like I've spoken about, hiking and walking previously, and I genuinely don't know what episode it is, and if I even have, but basically the long and short of it was, I don't really walk all that much, to be honest. I'm not really much of a hiker. I do like walks, I do like nature walks, and there's only 2 situations I can think of in my past where I've been on a very long walk. One of them is well, there's probably been more, but these are the 2 that immediately come to mind. One of them was back in year 9, I think, back in school, so that would put me around 15ish. Is that right? 12, 13, 14, no, 14 or 15. I can't remember if it's year 9 or year 10, anyway, 14, 15 sort of age, where we basically had school trips. The entire year went on loads of different week-long school trips. Some people went to Morocco, some people went to Austria, I think. I don't really remember them. They went to a summer camp, sort of. I'm not sure summer camp's really the right word, activity centre, so PG, that sort of thing. But I went to there's I don't actually know how many walking trails there are in the UK, but there's some really long ones. I basically signed up for one. It was the cheapest one. I don't know why necessarily I chose it, but it was the one where I was like, that sounds really cool, because it's not something I've done before. It was basically a camping and hiking-esque sort of one. It's not quite hiking or technically, but it's more we're walking through a long trail for 5 days, and then camping at the end, and doing a load of activities and things along the way. And I was like, that sounds really cool, because at the time I was like, oh, that's stuff I really want to do. I never joined guides or scouts or any of those sort of groups where you do these survival sort of things, and I was curious about it because I'm not that sort of person. I haven't really done all that much in relation to it. So we went there. So I signed up for it. You know, it was me and a couple of other friends who did it. Friends, only one of them I really speak to nowadays anymore. But we had a jolly good time just walking. Like very divided with everyone who went on a trip up into 4 groups of from people who do a lot of like walking and people who aren't, aka are you physically fit or are you not. I was in the lowest group, unsurprisingly, because I am not physically fit. Granted, the way they tested it was a bleep test, which, if you don't know, is basically sprinting back and forth, like increasing pace over and over and over again. And the other one was just like a cross-country run or something. So both very stamina-intensive things. Yes, true. But they're also very intensive things in the fact that you're jogging and running all the time in those things, which maybe it is a good indication of your hiking skills, because it's not like they can test you for like, oh, okay, you know, stay after school for like 6 hours and walk and see how long you can walk for. And so it probably is a good estimation, but I would wager that I'm probably better at walking for longer distances than jogging for huge amounts of distances. But I understand the classification in the end. Anyway, I was in lowest group for that, and we had a great time. You know, I was walking for 5 days. You know, on these long nature walks is my first like experience like doing anything related to like camping or things like that, ironically, because I have stayed in caravans and campsites before, just never camping. So I didn't know how to put up a tent. They told us how to do it, didn't know how to use like a camping stove, but they also prepared us for it by teaching us how to do it beforehand, and it was like, oh, this is a cool experience, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so then what, I was just like a load of walking. And honestly, there's more to say, I suppose, about field trip and that story, but, you know, that's perhaps something I'll talk about another time, or I've probably already spoken about, I don't really know. The other time is after university. After I graduated, I went on a holiday to Croatia with a couple of my friends, and we basically went to the national parks, like these preserved areas. One of them was like Plitvice, which is known for like its Plitvice is the big one, and Krka, well, I can't speak Croatian, so I don't know how to pronounce these in the slightest, I'm going to be honest, was the one with a load of waterfalls, and a load of waterfalls one's very pretty, but Plitvice, I think that's how you say it, I can't remember, is one where basically when you enter it, there's like a little map, and there's like, here are like walking trails that you can do, and you know, here's how long they took. And then we just like looked at the list, and then like my friend says, she was like, why don't we just do the longest one? And it was like expected time was like 10 or 12 hours or something. It was like, we were there like early in the morning, so we were like, all right, why not? And we did it. I genuinely don't remember how long it took us in the end. I don't think it took us 10 hours, because I don't think we walked necessarily the entire way, but I could probably find it. I probably have my photos from Croatia still. As long as I just sort of need to find it. When was it? It would have been 2019, right? That sounds about right. So around here? No, here we go. So I could try and find how long it would take. I might have even taken a picture of a map, just to sort of see the walking duration. So that's, okay, so this is in Krka. This one must be Plitvice. No, that's not Plitvice. No, this is still Krka, I think. It's hard to tell when you look at nature parks, what's what. I did take a picture of a trail. Oh my god. Oh, it doesn't say how long it's meant to be on it. I took a picture of both trails. And I feel like we did the entire thing. And I feel like it said 10 hours on it, but maybe I might just be making that up. But anyway, so when I take a picture of this, 10:42 AM. And then when are we on the bus back home? You might be like, what has this got to do with your holiday? You're just talking about a previous holiday. Well, okay, the conversational starters, you know. 10:42 AM, and then this must be the end of it again? I don't know, we're not on the bus there. Didn't I take a picture on the bus? Maybe I didn't. This looks like the end. 4:24. So we must not have done the entire thing. That's 6 hours. Unless we did it in 6 hours. Maybe the walk was 8 hours and we did it in 6 hours, which is entirely possible. We might not have we probably tried to stick to the trail, but we might not have stuck to it properly, is my guess. But yeah, that was a super wonderful time walking, and it genuinely is one of my favourite like things I've done on a holiday. You know, it was so simple, just walking with my friends for a huge amount of time, and you know, just being in nature and outdoors, and there was a lot of good moments of that sort of thing. Anyway, but the long and short of it is basically on this holiday in Spain, we did a lot of walking. Like there's a little game that we played every single day, because one of my friends had a watch, and I don't know which watch it is, one of the smart watches, which tracks basically how long you walk for and how many steps you do, and we basically estimate how many steps we do every single day, which I must say I'm not very good at estimating that sort of thing. I'm not sure I'm particularly good at estimating like distances in general. Like I seem to not have very good spatial awareness on a grand scale. I think great on a micro scale. If you know, my sense of proprioception is fantastic. I know where like all the things in my room are and all the things in my house are, etc. But if you ask me, it's like, how far is it from like, I don't know, London to Brighton? I'd be like, one, I don't even know where Brighton is, and two, I don't even know how like big England is in kilometers or anything, or miles. I don't know how big the earth is in miles or kilometers. I've got no sense of scale, I think, in that sense, or in any sort of sense. So yeah, I'm not very good at estimating, but you know, it's helpful when, you know, the game was basically like, that's how much we did yesterday, and then, you know, how much do you think we did today, and you know, being able to relatively compare was great. I can't remember how much we did in total. My friend did tell me. Let me just check a second. What he did send it. Let's see. So we had a 40-day holiday, and it was 176 kilometers, which is quite a lot, I think. You know, more than 10 kilometers every single day, considering some of the days that we didn't do things on. Like some days were basically quite heavily when traveling. You know, when driving in a caravan and that sort of thing, or motorhome technically. So I think it probably averaged out to the days where we actually did walk around. I imagine it's somewhere from 10 to 15. That sounds about right. I don't know what the peak day was, to be perfectly honest. I think one of the days we did like 20 kilometers or something, but I might just be making it up. I'm going to be perfectly honest. But yeah, it was a super fun experience, just sort of like walking around. Like my feet got tired. Like I would say, walking on flat ground is perfectly fine. It's as soon as you start going like walking on elevations upwards, it's like I'm dying. Or you know, the weather's like super sunny and super hot. I'm like, I'm dying. I can still do it, but you know, but it's not good. I'm not having a good time, which is interesting, I suppose, because you know, reflecting back on like my trip to Croatia when we did long walks, and you know, I reflect back on it and be like, I had a fantastic time. I don't even remember like struggling with a walk, but maybe I did, and maybe I'm just sort of like blocking it out in my mind, to be perfectly honest, because it's been like 4 years now, and you know, I probably don't recall the details all that well anymore. And then like I think, but amusingly enough, when I think back to when I did when I was like 15, I do remember struggling with that one a lot, but I think a lot of the time I was struggling with that was like I needed a toilet, and you know, I basically I hated using the porta potties, like on where we'd stay at, like at campsites, or like and obviously I didn't want to go to the toilet while we were just like walking, you know. I shouldn't say obviously, because some of you are probably just like, that's perfectly fine, and I think that is a normal human reaction to be like, yeah, it's a bit weird, but you know, it's nature in the end. But you know, obviously me, I'm just sort of like, no, I don't really want to do that, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. So I remember on the third day we actually stayed at like a proper campsite with like proper bathrooms, and that was like fantastic. It was like bliss for me, you know, had a proper shower and all that. And actually, now I think about it, I actually completely forgot about this, but I actually had to leave at school trip early because I ended up dislocating my shoulder on the final day. I think of the second final day, I can't remember, which was very sad, I'm not gonna lie. A whole slew of shoulder dislocation issues, I suppose I have. No, it didn't start there, but that's certainly like the big first major time it happened, I think. I know, probably gave the teachers quite a scare, so I apologise to the teachers who were on that trip. Yeah, so anyway, lots of walking, and like we had like huge walks like most days, but definitely the day with the worst walk, not the worst walk, but the most tiring walk for me, like the one that drained me the most, was definitely when we were in Gibraltar. And we if you don't know, Gibraltar, there's this giant like Gibraltar Rock, which you can go up and you see fantastic sights when you're up there, but there's normally a cable car which goes up there. The first day we went to Gibraltar, the cable car was down because for maintenance / they were washing it, and we were just like, oh, okay. So then, you know, we just started like walking, like not up the mountain the entire way, we walked up partway to see some of the sights, and it was, I'm gonna say it, I need to improve my cardio. It was not a pleasant experience because it was one pretty damn hot, you know, it was like on the southern point of Spain or whatever, right? So, you know, we're getting pretty close to the Mediterranean area. I mean, we're in the Mediterranean zone, I suppose. So, you know, it's very warm, and I don't do particularly well in hot weather, and it was a lot of uphill walking. So I was just like, I'm just like dying here, and I'm not gonna lie. So, you know, my friends are a lot more fit than I am, I'm gonna be honest. So they're walking, you know, they're getting tired, but they're still right. I was just basically just sort of like silently walking, just like observing the nature around me. To be fair, which I might have done anyway, granted, even if I wasn't super tired, even if I was super fit, because that's, you know, and I'm very pensive, I suppose, when I walk, you know, I like to be in my own world, when I'm walking, you know, thinking to myself. But I do like to talk to my friends, of course, as well, you know. Not because my friends are bad company. My friends are fantastic company. But yeah, I know we did a lot of walking. It was exhausting, I would say. And I think that sticks in my mind about Gibraltar, which I'll probably talk about when we actually talk about Gibraltar. Is like one of the sites we went to was called like these Hercules pillars. I have no idea, like none of us had any idea what it was, and we got there and it was like, oh, it's just like kind of like a sign. It's kind of like a small statue thing of like a shield and some pillars, and we were like, wow, this is like kind of lame. We did all this walking for there. Anyway, that was pretty tiring. And that was a lot of walking that day, but we did a lot of walking like other days, and some days we did a lot of walking, it didn't really feel like much, and I'm almost certain it was probably because the days that felt like a lot of walking is just because we did a lot of like elevation walking, and the days which didn't feel like a lot of walking were probably just like walking around the city, which is not that much elevation. I can't remember which city we were in, but one city, and like we were guessing like how much we walked, and it actually turned out the number was huge, and we were like, whoa. Or at least I was like, whoa. I can't believe we did that much walking. It did not feel like that much walking. For me personally, so, you know. As I say, I'm not very great at estimations of that sort of thing. Anyway, it's sort of like the go-to thing. Well, I shouldn't say the go-to thing, because everyone does holidays quite differently. At least the way that I interact with holidays is that I would go to a place, I'm like, I want to see literally everything. Like, you know, top 50 things to do in this place, I want to do them. You know, I'm totally fine. Wake up at 7 AM and to do them, absolutely. Stay out for the entire day, sure. Go out to eat, fine. But obviously not everyone's like that. Some people are like, holidays are meant to be times for relaxing. You know what, ideal holiday for some people, for me, this a hypothetical person, would be like chilling by the pool, you know, and relaxing, you know, sipping a mojito or something. And for me, I'm just like, you know, I think I'd probably be kind of bored if I was just like, oh, I thought that was like a shadow of a balloon. I was like, why does it have a shark fin? For me personally, I would probably be a little bit bored, I think, just sitting by a pool the entire day. You know, it's just not me. Unsurprisingly, I genuinely like to do things, but at the same time, you know, I understand the appeal of it. It's not like I can't relax. And I mean, I've spoken about it before, but I'm probably, you know, I probably need to learn how to relax more properly, I would say. So, you know, if at times it's actually rejuvenating rather than, you know, doing things for out of a sense of like, I'm not going to say FOMO necessarily, but doing things because you can. which is not, I mean, it's a good motivator, but it's also probably not the most thought through justification for doing things. I don't mean it in a reckless way, but being things like, if there's an opportunity for you to try doing something, do it. Like, which is, you know, good and bad, I suppose, in the same sense. Oh, hello. My goodness, I need to hurry up and watch that new show everyone is talking about. I hear it's even more binge-worthy than my favourite cooking show, Cream Spinach Armageddon. We very rarely have, like, these two talking to each other, and it's likely to be unique as two snooties, hey? Ooh, does that mean the drama set on a desert island? The one called... Ooh, do you mean the drama set on a deserted island? The one called It's Just a Mirage? Yes, that's the one. Have you seen it? Oh, yes. I stayed up all night and watched to the very end. I was on the edge of my seat. But I still can't believe the whole thing was just a dream. What a twist. I didn't see that coming. I feel like we've seen this conversation before. I can't believe you just spoiled the ending for me. What am I supposed to watch now, Amelia? I suppose there's reruns of Cream Spinach Armageddon for me. I feel like we had that conversation before. That does seem familiar. Anyway, long walks. Step counted. I don't know what I'm going to title this episode, but something along those lines. Anyway, so 170 kilometers and 176 kilometers in 14 days. Is that a good amount? I don't know, but it was rewarding, I would say. So, yeah. If you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.